The true life or death of on-chain projects isn't price fluctuations, but rather liquidity drawdowns. Thinner LPs, larger slippage, and amplified net outflows. Once the rhythm is disrupted, the system easily becomes disordered. Therefore, NICE addresses only one question from the outset: how to maintain order under different liquidity conditions. NICE is a structural system designed for long-term continuous operation. Depth Index, Growth Flywheel, SRT. Critical paths are traceable on-chain, rules are public, and human variables are minimized. Initiators don't drive the market with a bunch of tokens. The core operates according to on-chain paths. First, let's look at the token and treasury parameters. Token name, NICE token. Total supply, 700 million, fixed. Airdrop reward, 16 million. Market capitalization, 35 million. Treasury reserve target, 160 million NICE. Replenishment logic triggered if below target. Initial LP tokens, 489 million NICE. Deflation, 5% of profit tax used for burning. Secondary buy-in trigger, opens after LP pool exceeds 10 million USDT. The static portion adopts a depth-driven rhythm structure. Minimum investment, 1 USDT. Single transaction range, 100 to 10,000 USDT. Effective users, greater than or equal to 100 USDT. For dynamic statistics. Structure, 50% buy-in, 50% LP. LP immediately burned. Lockup, 28 days. Maturity options. 1. Automatic reinvestment, full reinvestment, no SRT triggered. 2. Redemption of principal, first turbo boost, then enter SRT, settled at the current exchange rate. Then see the LP depth to daily return to reinvestment/redemption ratio table. 0 to 3 million, daily return 0.3%, 80% reinvestment, 20% redemption. 3 million to 6 million, daily return 0.45%, 70% reinvestment, 30% redemption. 6 million to 10 million, daily return 0.6%, 60% reinvestment, 40% redemption. 10 million to 15 million, daily return 0.7%, 55% reinvestment, 45% redemption. 15 million to 20 million, daily return 0.8%, 50% reinvestment, 50% redemption. 20 million to 25 million, daily return 0.9%, 45% reinvestment, 55% redemption. 25 million to 30 million, daily return 0.95%, 40% reinvestment, 60% redemption. Greater than or equal to 30 million, daily return 1%, 30% reinvestment, 70% redemption. Dynamic part, 2 lines, referral generation rewards plus community rewards. Referral generation rewards. Maximum 15 generations, 2% per generation. Rules, earn 1 generation for each directly referred valid user, maximum 15 generations. Compact skip level, intermediate addresses without deposits do not occupy a spot and are skipped directly. Community rewards, based on the percentage of static income under management. N1, personal performance 500, subsidiary performance 5,000, 5% community reward. N2, personal performance 1,000, subsidiary performance 10,000, 10% community reward. N3, personal performance 2,000, subsidiary performance 50,000, 15% community rewards. N4, individual performance 3,000, community performance 20,000, 20% community reward. N5, individual performance 5,000, community performance 750,000, 25% community reward. N6, individual performance 8,000, community performance 2 million, 30% community reward. N7, individual performance 10,000, community performance 5 million, 35% community reward. N8, individual performance 15,000, community performance 10 million, 40% community reward. N9, individual performance 20,000, community performance 20 million, 45% community reward. Community performance is calculated based on new deposits. Redemptions/reinvestments are not counted as new deposits. SRT's core metrics. RPR equals the actual drawdown amount over the past 24 hours divided by the LP pool, TWAP. As RPR rises, the system enters different stress levels, and the percentage of funds that can be received dynamically adjusts. Less than 2%, 100%, 2 to 4%, 90%, 4 to 6%, 80%, 6 to 8%, 70%, 8 to 10%, 50%, 10%, 30% capped defense. All dynamic earnings are automatically split upon receipt. 80% enters the withdrawable amount, 20% is automatically accumulated as ECV ecosystem contribution value. ECV is used for future ecosystem airdrops, exchanges, and priority reference for equity, accumulated on-chain and traceable. Secondary market transactions tax, 3.5%. Operations 1%. Nodes 1%. Secondary market transactions only, excluding investment deposits. Community 1.5%. Profit tax, 25%, only for profit portion. Burning 5%. Nodes 10%. Community 10%. Profit tax is not differentiated by static, dynamic, or redemption source. As long as the value of the tokens you sell ultimately exceeds your principal cost, the excess portion is calculated as profit and tax. NYSE's logic is simple: use depth-based scaling, flywheel backflow reinforcement, SRT to control extremes, and ECV to solidify long-term contributions. On-chain verifiable, traceable, and accountable, ensuring the system operates continuously according to its structure.